So yeah, my name is Artur Gurau. I'm coming from Moldova. I'm a social entrepreneur. I'm also part of the board of Digital Communication Network. Who of you knows about Digital Communication Network? My perfect pitch, because now 90% of you will find out, and hopefully you will want to join this network. We were talking about the importance of the network. So that's me at 1:30, yeah. In 2015 in USA, when I was part of a first ever exchange group of Digital Communication Network program with colleagues working in Digital Communication Network, in media, journalists, people who do communication for NGOs, but also entrepreneurs coming from Central and Eastern European region. And we were 24. And it was really like cool time. For me, it was more like a revelation. I understood that I have to change what I'm doing. So I want to tell you the story of how Digital Communication Network started. This is the latest group that was part of the exchange this year. Now we are not 24. We are a global organization of more than 6,000 people. The core of our organization is Ukraine. We have more than 700 members. From Moldova, we have 513, and this is number from yesterday, and it's funny because in Moldova we have a bar that is called 513, and it's one of my favorite places. And Georgia is 490, and it's again funny because Georgia is where I'm heading next after Kiev. So now we are not 10 countries, we are like 30 countries, from Central Europe to Central Asia, and as you can see, America here is not first. Actually, from Lithuania, we have more members in our network than from United States. This is our digital open space. The mission of Digital Communication Network is to empower a new generation of digital communication network professionals to develop and grow community and to basically create this collaboration cross-sector space where we can learn from each other, share the best practices, share opportunities, but also build new stuff together. So because we were talking about our activities, I would use this opportunity to advertise our next event, our next conference that will happen in Bulgaria. It's dedicated to storytelling, and we will talk about what's cool, what's trendy in content production and content distribution. We still work on the agenda, so I encourage you to suggest speakers or to apply to participate to this interesting program. I think you will find it interesting, not only the content, but also the people and the best practices that are shared to this type of events that we are organizing in different parts of the world. So, talking about Digital Communication Network and the need of ecosystem, Digital Communication Network is very much focused on communities. And we have members in a lot of countries that are doing different things. They are doing meetups. We had organized the research. I shared the research on the mapping influencers in 28 countries yesterday to some of you. Now we are piloting some stuff in Moldova because it's a small market and I can easily see what's working and what's not. And after that, we are scaling these positive experiences in other regions. So now we are very much focused on Balkans. We have a partnership signed with Thessaloniki, Aristotle University. And yeah, we'll also launch here in Ukraine, Digital Influencers Hub, because our mission is to show to the new generation of digital communication professionals that what they can do is not only collaborate in, for example, creating like real impact campaigns, but also using and because they have this trust and big audiences that creators have on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, they can be not only vehicles for change, but they can build and promote their own solutions to the problems that we all facing in the world. So this is our ultimate goal, to build new stuff, to promote tools, programs that will change what we do for the better. This is the area of my responsibility right now, and it's a very hard mission because Like, as I told you, we have a lot of members. I know, for example, that Friedrich-Naumann have more than 400 employees. Digital Communication Network have one. We will have 3 soon. We are a board of 7 people, and I told you that our goal right now is to build, to develop local communities. So it sounds more like mission impossible. And I reached my friend, Vitaly Yashanu from Moldova. He's a talented programmer. And he said, look, you had this idea. He had an idea. It was a website called Election Platform that we used 10 years ago when we organized a blog contest in Moldova. Can we adjust that solution so that I can use it to my problem, to basically help me identify and elect leaders in each of these community? Because I know some people in Latvia, in Lithuania, in Slovakia, but I don't know if they are the best fit to, be the leaders of the community and to have them as ambassadors for Digital Communication Network. So this is how Vote Me Up started. It's a solution to organize elections, specifically for community. This was the main goal. And by the way, one of my friends who is very smart, he said, if there is a new app there on the market, you should be the first one to test it, to use it, because when it will be like a big hit, you'll be there on this app for a long time, and you'll be, you'll have more status, more followers, and so on. So yeah, you can search it in Google Play, in App Store, and then download it to solve democracy. So how we are choosing someone when we have this problem? You are familiar with Game of Thrones? Okay, so let's watch a very short video.
Oops. Doesn't work. We have to choose someone. Why just us? We represent all the great houses, but whoever we choose, we won't just rule over the lords and ladies. Maybe the decision about what's best for everyone should be left to everyone. Maybe we should give the dogs a vote as well. Oh, my horse!
So yeah, who is actually choosing? We have this illusion of choice, and this guy, he's very famous, and I love him. His name is William Tweed. You can Wikipedia him. He's one of the first political influencers who said that I don't care who people vote as long as I do the nomination. Basically, he was one of the first oligarchs in the world. He was like the 3rd richest man in New York, and in the end, he was arrested for corruption, melting elections, and so on. So that was almost 150 years ago. How democracy works today? Well, not a lot of things changed. We still have political influencers that are, sponsoring political candidates, promoting them in different roles, and so on. And there are a couple of problems about that. We still use 300, maybe even 400 old technology to elect leaders. Technology right now, unfortunately, is doing more harm for democracy more than help, because as you know, we still use paper ballot, and this is a very big, for me it's shocking. I can't understand, these differences. We have Cambridge Analytica, and we still have to go with the stamp, on the paper. So that's the first problem, because everybody of us have a mobile phone, and especially younger generation. If you want them to vote, we have to make it simple for them, and not maybe, especially for the representatives of diaspora, they have to travel a lot. The second problem, I don't know if you figure it out, but we have a big confidence gap, because we don't have trust 100% in one candidate. Sometimes we trust him 30%, but we are like motivated to go and vote for the least evil. And when you do a simple arithmetic, it's not always 0 to 1. If you measure trust, in the end, you might have a different winner than the winner that is actually, you know, winning basing on the simple counting 0 to 1. And in this exercise, I'm showing you that even if there is cumulative more trust in one candidate, like another one is winning. And in critical things like selecting, for example, a president, it's really important. And the third problem is the filter of nominations. So we have voters. There are a lot of them. And there are candidates. There are very few candidates. And we have this filter, media, radio, television, Facebook, and so on. And all the communication between voters and candidates are going through this, you know, media that it's very expensive. It's very expensive to run campaigns. And don't forget the Tweeds. You remember about William Tweed. They are not disappearing anywhere. These are the people that are the big donors, the big financiers of the candidates, and they are representing only 0.02% of all the people. So it's a big discrepancy between, you know, representativity. And we have NGOs that educate leaders. You know, they focus to solve this problem because we have to have better leaders. We have the bubbles, we have manipulation, propaganda, fake news. And we have, again, NGOs that encourage us, go to vote, it's important. But does it really solve the problem? What solves them? Let me Google that for you. Who knows how Google search works? There is an algorithm called PageRank, and it's based on trust, yeah? The link that is more trusted by more people when you inquire for something will be shown in the first place. So this is what we actually started to use a digital communication network to establish who is the best for certain things. And at our event in Montenegro, we elected the most active participant. At our event in Armenia, we selected who is the boss of humor and games. And this was organized just to prove somehow the concept. So what we have to do in order to embrace the change? Why we have to vote only for one candidate when we can have more freedom to elect more? We have the freedom of voice to express ourselves, but we don't have yet freedom to vote for whoever we want. We have a low rate of participation because we don't see people that represent us. Instead, we could, you know, send, you know, invitation to people we really want to vote for. We have to use our mobile phones to do digital secure voting. And also, you know, now a vote don't count that much, but with an algorithm that is empowering quality and trust, my vote, if more people vote for me, if I vote for Reinar, it's really important. So where this, you know, new solution, new digital solution for election can be applied everywhere, like in schools, in universities, at conferences, trainings, campaigns, communities, but also to select the board members of an organization, the local leaders of an organization, members of the parliament, or maybe the leaders of a civic group that have to go to negotiate with the power. Yeah, so think about it. And I have an exercise. It's very practical. I would like to challenge you to participate to this challenge, to select during 6 hours the leading freedom fighter at our event. In order to receive the invitation to this specific ballot, please send me a message, or you can ask Reinar as well. He have the link to the mobile app. The fact is that right now, nowadays, we have a lot of protests in the world. There are protests happening in Hong Kong, protests happening in Barcelona, in Chile, anywhere. But people don't see that actually right now the solution is not at the surface somehow. It's not cosmetic things that have to be done. Sometimes in order to solve it and to prevent this big risk, you have to identify where the heart of the problem really is and get right to it. So because I still have 5 minutes, I'm very cool. I would like to basically launch a call to action, because here you are leaders, you are freedom promoters, and I would like you to take this seriously and to help us in changing the system. It's ambitious, but I know it's possible. Thank you very much.